Happy Friday. Welcome into the Odds Checker MLB Friday preview. We're talking MLB picks analysis. He's John Laghezza at MLB Moving Average. I'm Drew Martin on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets. John, welcome in. Happy Friday to you, buddy. I'm really excited to do this with you.
This is awesome, Drew. I'm like coming out of my chair, man. As soon as I heard I was going to be working with you, I was just went into sixth gear. I'm usually in fifth, but I went into sixth just for you. And I wanted to say this is something I didn't mention off air. Although you and I think if we've become friends already, man, we're so simpatico. And that's where I was going with it. When I heard I was going to work with you, I started just going through your betting log. And I knew immediately that you and I were going to see eye to eye because the first pick I saw was one I made myself and wrecked my subs at FTN was the Atlanta Braves, first five as an underdog, Charlie Merton versus Jameson Taillon for the Yankees. Again, a lot of good lessons there. I like F5 betting. It eliminates the bullpen, something sharp people do. I like plus money bets, again, something sharp people do. And I like fading the Yankees and going away from the public narrative, something that sharp people do. So I knew you and I were just going to get along perfectly. And, man, I'm really ready. Let's bring it to the Odds Checker Nation. We're going to bring it. We're going to make some cash, baby.
Absolutely, John. I am equally as excited here. John's got the Yankees hat on. I got the Marlins hat. A little New York, Florida, north-south. We both know baseball. We both had trading backgrounds as well. So bringing in a little bit of, I guess you could say, the financial world knowledge into sports betting. So, guys, hopefully you like the show. If you do, please smash the like button. We're talking Friday night, plus a little theory here on MLB betting. Bringing up the Friday night card here, John. We got Seattle and Boston, Kikuchi versus Perez. We got the LA Angels and Houston Astros, Haney and Greinke, Texas and the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox having an undecided starter right now. Dane Dunning going for the Rangers. He's a guy I've circled his bet on. We got the Fish and the Giants tonight. Alcantara, Alex Wood, both off the good starts this season. And then, of course, the Padres and Dodgers and the nightcap, the degenerate special, if you will. That's always an excited one on the West Coast. What games are you most excited about on the Friday night card?
Well, I think you got some of the ones that I like. Again, I think one of the probably the overarching lesson here, again, you and I as being professionals and needing to stay in the game every day is be selective, right? Similar to the hitters that we're looking to bet on. Be selective. Let's wait for our pitches because there's so many choices that we can try and find the very best ones. That being said, I think you got a few of them already. And one of the first ones I was looking at, right, you said Seattle and Boston. Let's dive into that one. Okay. Man, Seattle is probably an issue on its own. I do like them, and I'm over on that win total. The thing I'm not so hot on today, a lot of people are chasing Yusei Kikuchi, and I'm not quite there yet. We know he incorporated the cut fastball, and he kind of featured that in the arsenal starting in 2020. So I went back to start my analysis there, not to say to cut him a break, but just, when we get those tangible changes, sometimes that's where a pitcher can take a new trajectory. And that would be somewhere that the projection systems do tend to miss, which would be arsenal changes or pitch mix changes. Right. So even if we go back to the cut fastball inception, let's say 66 innings pitched, the ERA is 5, the WHIP at 1.3, the OPS over 700. The K rate of 24 is okay. The walk rate in the double digits, not any good. And he has been keeping the ball down, which I think is what has people into him, right? So the ground ball rate is up over 48. The hard hit rate is down. The bow rate is down. And we like those things. However, he's been doing that, keeping the ball down and out around like that shadow zone on the plate. Mm-hmm. When he's left some hangers and he's done that more than we want this year, his contact profile is actually very weak. If we look at his expected WOBA, it's at 364. His expected WOBA on contact is over 460, Drew. Those are the bottom 5th percentile. Think of Edwin Jackson, right? That's where his contact metrics are, just the guys that we go after. So I want to have people pump the brakes on him. I know we got 6 innings pitched each time out, but he's given up at least 2, right? We have 10 earned runs in 19 innings. That's not great, but the big hang up for me is that the home runs are back. So he's keeping it down the majority of the time. My problem is that the mistakes are very bad, and they're happening too often, right? Double-digit walk rate, double-digit barrel rate, and those kind of contact metrics are a problem, particularly when we're looking at the Boston offense, which is just ridiculous right now. They're top 3 in doubles, runs, average, OPS, CSW, weighted on base average, WRC plus, and WOBACon. Like the Red Sox kind of do it all. So he's going to have to be perfect to beat them, and I'm not there. I think this one probably smells like an over to me because I don't think Perez is any good, and Seattle's actually surprised people with the sticks. Then let's see. The next one I got is Toronto and Tampa, right? So again, it's not like these decisions don't happen in a vacuum, I guess I'd say. I know what I like, but we also need to kind of add the public perception and the price, of course, into the calculus. Something I know that you talk about a lot. I'm a follower of yours, and the price is probably the main determinant, in our decision making, because we could love the Yankees, let's say the Dodgers, but if it's minus 280, I'm not paying that for anybody. I don't care. So you got to let it go, right? So price is always going to matter. The public right now is really, really high on Steven Matz for the Blue Jays. They're also very high in the Blue Jays offense. They're doubting Tyler Glass now and doubting the Rays offense. So here we have I could not be further apart from the public on this. So let's start with Glass now, because this analysis is the easiest for me. He's an ace. The guy introduced a slider, and now the walks and the home runs are no longer an issue. He is a boss. Tyler Glasnow is a total boss, and to be honest, I'm still recommending people get money on him as the Cy Young winner, because his price hasn't moved because of the narrative. So there's a little extra for you. Right now, just take a quick pause the button and go put money on Glasnow. Right now, I think he's the AL Cy Young winner. I don't even know who is even going to touch him right now. That's my dude. But the fastball is up. He's one of the few people to have multiple 100 pitches thrown. People think about Tampa and say, oh, but Snell wasn't allowed to go 5 innings. Well, guess what? Glasnow's throwing 105 pitches. Every time's out. He's going deep into games. He ain't walking anybody. He is a horse right now.
He's a strikeout rate up.
Yeah. He's a legit A1 stud. Tyler Glasnow, legit A1 stud. When he's coming in around even, it's kind of crazy for me. So you have that, and I'm going to go with Steven Matz. People are into it. I think they're chasing the season stats. They see the low ERA. They see the low whip. I'm not buying it. I did quite a bit of work on him. The profile is exactly the same. Everything is the same. The first strike rate is down. His chase rate is down. The fastball velocity has not changed. What I have noticed, though, Drew, is just a little bit of batted ball luck. His BABIP, which is batting average on balls in play, is below 200. That's something that is unsustainable. That doesn't hang for anybody. Matz has never been that type of guy. His two most used pitches are, let's just say, what add up to the majority of his arsenal, the curve and the slider. They equal 50% usage. They have a 500 WOBA and 300 WRC plus against. So what I'm getting at is I think Matz has just been a beneficiary of some good luck, and people are chasing him up. And I don't think it's there. I think it's the same guy we've always had, which is not very good. And then I'm going to flip this one on its head also, where the public is really into the Blue Jay offense. I see a team in the last 7 days. They have a 566 OPS. That's bottom three. They have a 255 team WOBA, a 60 WRC plus. And the flip side of that, the Rays have an 800 OPS with a 13% barrel rate the last 7. So there is one of my favorite kind of, the public thinks this and I think this, and I'm not going to be shaken off it. So for me, it's Rays F5, it's Rays F5 run line, it's Rays team total. I think the Blue Jays are going to get hammered today early, I think. And I think the whole world will be scratching their chin, because I think Matz is going to get run out. I really do. I think he's going to get run out. And everyone is expecting him to have taken this new level. I'm short. I'm short the Matz trade.
Okay, short and Matz. And I love hearing you talk. Not only a Yankees fan talking about the AL East, but John, you're really bringing it with the baseball stats. A couple of things that I wanted to throw out. The reason I brought up Kikuchi, being the Asian type pitcher, whether it be from Korea or Japan, we've seen these guys come in with their kind of funky delivery angles, the way that they wind up, the timing. I found it's been off for some MLB batters here. So the first time through the lineup, the first time seeing them, I actually think these guys have an advantage. Kikuchi being the one that I circled here, especially when he pitches outside of the division he plays. So these lineups don't see him a lot. But you bring up the fact, the Red Sox lineup is just smashing here. So that's what kept me off of that one. That's why I wanted to bring that game up, the Seattle and Boston game. And also, John, talking about Toronto and Tampa Bay, two things here. One, I love what you said about Glasnow and his still maybe buy low on the AL Cy Young Award. Steven Matz, talking about giving the leash there from the Mets. Mets fans are probably watching his start to the season being like, oh my gosh, like where was this Steven Matz when he was pitching in New York? But him being on a new team, he's kind of found new life here. So maybe a bet on, but you bring up some good stats. Maybe that's not the case. And also, what are you thinking here about Toronto and Tampa Bay? Let's face it, John, they're both Tampa Tampa teams now with Toronto, the Canadian government, not and they're playing down in the state of Florida. Do you think that actually matters in the handicap here?
I got to be honest. I haven't applied it any further than I would just apply park factor stuff. So, they're in a very good hitting environment. So that's kind of the application I can. And again, I mean, this is interesting because I am not going to say that the intangible stuff doesn't matter, but I can't quantify it, so I don't apply it that way.
It's hard to handicap.
I think that's what I would say. Yeah, as far as handicapping and using my moving averages algorithm goes, like I wouldn't know how to quantify that. But we do know it's a good environment for hitting. And again, I think the Blue Jays are another team, probably similar to my Yankees, that I think once they start to go, they are going to just take off because there is talent there coming out of their ears. They just kind of happen to be struggling right now. And, we haven't seen George Springer. I think he's a kind of player I refer to as a tide, right? Because when the tide comes in, the rising tide lifts all ships. And I think when Springer comes back, especially hitting atop the lineup, they're just going to totally take off. So right now it's a holding pattern for the Jays. I'm just kind of smashing them right now. I'm going against them. But once it starts, because we've seen Vlad already he looks like he's taken that next level. He looks like a legit kind of MVP contender. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets MVP votes this year. He looks fantastic. So right now, it's not like I'm anti-Jays. It's just right now they're not doing it. The offense is weak. I think the pitching is a bit overrated. So I'm hitting them first 5. I'm going to be on the Rays today for sure.
All right, good stuff, John. Guys, we're looking to do this each and every Friday. If you're liking it, please smash the like button. Feel free to comment below as well. We got some nightcaps on the Friday night slate we want to talk here. But, John, did want to talk a little kind of trends here in the MLB kind of season so far. We're a little bit over 10% of the way through the season, so we can kind of find some of these trends, see if they're going to stick, see if maybe they're kind of fade city here. Wanted to bring up 2 of them to you. The New York Yankees, your New York Yankees, down over 6 units on the season, kind of surprising out the gate. And the Seattle Mariners, plus 8.8 units on the year. A lot of people didn't have that. I think you did, though, looking at their season win total towards the over. So the Yankees, the Mariners here, do you think they're going to be able to continue their trends they're on, the Yankees being fade city, or would you think it's buy low on the Yanks? And also the Seattle Mariners, are they going to start to be priced appropriately going forward?
All right, there's a lot to unpack and some really good questions. So I think first off, I think when you look at teams like the Yankees, it's important to separate timeframes again, something traders often do, to look for trend indication. So right now in the micro, at the very most immediate level, the most nearest time frame, you have to sell the Yankees. It's totally short. Forget, and they're still coming in with juice attached. That's crazy. As a handicapper, you need to be on the other side of that, even though I know it's hard. Yeah, it's not because I'm a fan. I hold my nose to bet against the Yankees just because it's the Yankees. You know that they could come out and decimate you in the first inning. Same for like the Dodgers, right? You kind of give those teams the bit of extra respect. But the bonus side is that they come with great pricing, and you don't have to hit them even half the time, right? I've been betting against the Yankees every day. We're getting paid, but you can make money betting baseball with underdogs without a great win percentage. In fact, I'll be honest, I wear it right on my sleeve. I don't have the best winning percentage because I count parlays. Like, I'm very honest. I'm very transparent, and a loss is a loss, and I don't care. It's about profit and not winning percentages, because again, I don't chase negative values. I'm just not going to do that. So
it's why it's my favorite sport to bet, is because you can get the units up and still have under a 50% winning percentage. I love where you're going, John.
Yeah, and I mean, it happens all the time, and the public is not very sharp, and the games, unlike football, where everyone has a whole week to stare at the same line, and it becomes very sharp. These games, I said to you before, my favorite analogy for handicapping baseball is building a sandcastle right on the shoreline. How good it looks or not, no matter what happens, the next day comes, whoosh, it's gone. It's like the Etch-a-Sketch. You just reset it, you shake the thing up, it's gone. So you got to let it go. We don't want to get too crazy into ourselves in the past, but I think that was important for the Yankee argument. Where I'm getting at with them is, man, they stink, okay? And we're going to treat them as they stink until they stop to stink, or at the very least, something I talk about on the Cork Stats podcast every day. Again, trend indication. I like to look for disciplinary improvements, Drew, right? Things that are in the control of the hitter, meaning are they taking pitches? Are they not chasing? Then listen, if you start hitting the ball hard and you don't get results, to me, that's the team I want to be on. It's starting to click and the results just aren't there. The problem with the Yankees is they're generally known for having a very strong disciplinary basket. On the season, we're seeing that. They're a middle-of-the-road strikeout team. They're generally not striking at all, and they walk. They're one of the best walk rates, one of the best chase rates. That's all really good. However, they have one of the lowest in-zone contact rates, and then when you zoom in the last 7, it's even worse. 550 OPS, the K rate is up over 27. the Yankees are just not what we thought. And I think I mentioned this to you off air just quickly. I think they might be a victim of this changed ball. And across the league, we have a rise, I should say, in exit velocity. However, that's measured at the point of contact. The seams have been raised, and more resistance is being added to the ball. This is my
more
theory.
Drag. Yeah.
This is right. The drag. This is my theory. I'm not a scientist. I try not to pretend to be one. But what I am seeing is a raise in exit velocity, something that we know is directly related to production, but production is down. So the home run fly ball rate is down, OPS is down. This is anecdotal. I'm generally very objective. We're hearing the crack of the bat constantly, and the ball is dying in the outfield. Where last year, the last 2 years, it'd be a pop-up that kept going. So I'm already kind of refining myself towards, less offense, and I think the Yankees are probably the poster child for that. Then just quickly with the Mariners, man, I think they could sneak into the playoffs, but I think that would be it. To your main point, I don't think the public is going to catch up to them. They never seem to do so. If they did, I was going to say yours, but I'll say our Marlins wouldn't be such heavy underdogs every day with Sandy Alcantara pitching, who's like a top 5 pitcher in the National League. He's like a top 8 pitcher in the entire league. He should never be an underdog, almost regardless of his offense, right? I mean, when Shane Bieber had a bad offense behind him, he was not coming in as a plus 130 underdog. So the public is just not sharp. That's why they're the public, and that's why they come to us, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully we can find you more winners than losers, guys. We're looking to do this each and every Friday. Best bets time, trying to keep this video short, at least the initial one, guys. So let us know in the comments below if you're liking the content. John, I'm going to one of the nightcaps here. We do have the Dodgers and Padres, which is a good one. Darvish and Kershaw. I'm excited to watch that game late night. But the Marlins and the San Francisco Giants, I'm wearing the Marlins hat for a reason, not only to combat the Yankee on the other side of the screen here, but John talking about Alcantara, I think he's one of the top pitchers in MLB that nobody's heard about. Or I know that the more of the serious MLB bettors have heard of him. But if you're just a casual fan being in South Florida, likely not getting a lot of limelight here. And he's going up against Alex Wood, who's been good as well, John. Plus the fact we got Brian Anderson and Sterling Marte in the Marlins lineup, kind of banged up. I mean, Anderson's definitely not in the lineup on the IL here. And it's a Marlins lineup that's a little top heavy. When some of their bigger names aren't in the lineup, you really need to take advantage of that in your handicap. Alcantara, I could see him going 6, 7, maybe 8 innings here, holding the Giants offense at bay. I think Alex Wood will have a successful night as well. These are 2 top 10 bullpens in MLB. West Coast at night, we're seeing a total of 7. Reduced juice towards the under, meaning minus 105. Don't have to pay that minus 110 price. So I'm going under 7 in the San Francisco Giants Miami Marlins game. Late night West Coast action here, John. That's my best bet for the show. I'll throw it over to you for your best bets for the show, and any final thoughts, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna get to my best bet, but I want to get to something that you brought up, and this is really interesting, and I think it's actionable for the listeners and stuff, and it's also why I like to talk to smart people, because intelligent things come up, and we're kind of going to hash them out. Now, this is funny that I'm going to disagree with you while agreeing with 1,000% of what you said. So your analysis of the Miami game is perfect, and I think you're right. You know what I mean? So it's funny. How am I going to disagree? My disagreement, again, is not with you. It's with some structural changes with Major League Baseball, and it's I've been having a problem with going under with the full game because of the extra innings rule. Just to vamp it, if anyone's new, you're starting extra innings, which is match play with a runner on second, so you could get an out and score a run, and now pass it off to the other team that could get an out and score a run. I had mentioned to you off air before, there was a game that was 2-2 going into the 9th. Generally 0-7, that would be totally safe. You'd be fine. And it's not really fine anymore because the one team scored on some BS and then the next team kind of answered it, and 2-2 became 3-3. And if it's 0-7, you just lost because you need the 7th run is the definitive run. And that's the problem. So I'm not saying you're wrong. And I really think this game is going to end 3-1, 4-1, 3-2. I really do. I think you're going to clear your under easily. But my point has just been from a strategic standpoint, let's say, coming from Wall Street, I like to use, it's very boring, but I have a written plan. It kind of just keeps me within myself. I'm very excitable, right? But it keeps me within myself. But it does. It's a good way for people, especially getting started, to say, I don't pay 200 juice, right? I don't go under in cores. That's another good one you and I haven't talked about yet. But I don't bet unders in cores just because. Do they hit? Of course they hit sometimes. But I don't do that because I don't want the aggravation. It's silly. What happens in cores is kind of nuts. So I just like to give people a viewpoint of that though I like the under, I'd rather keep it to the first 5. Because, I mean, and you have Alex Wood. He was great the last time out. And he's really just a 5-inning guy. And I think he fills that role perfectly. He's the kind of guy I love for 5 innings because you're not getting a drop more. I don't think you're getting a drop less or a drop more. He's almost like 5 innings on the dot. And again, you mentioned both of these offenses really struggling. Both of the bullpens looking really good. So I do think that it's under. I have just been, I don't know if it's for my own sanity, which it seems like it's hanging by thread sometimes, but for my own well-being, to kind of, tell myself, if I do that, right, I can avoid, I can knowingly avoid those problems. If I say, I just don't go, I don't go under for 9. So that's just something I've been imparting on people. Think about that maybe, but I do like to cap. My bet today is, again, it's F5. People, I like to eliminate variables. Bullpens are the ultimate variable in baseball, I feel, because even when we look at stats, the usage is different every day, right? Drew, something I hear you talk about on your work is, guys that went 2 days in a row and he won't be available. And now you circle that. So you're very smart. And that's something that we need to be doing. But the point of that is that we don't know what's going to happen. I'll give you a perfect example. The other night, Chapman threw 20 pitches and I was trying to figure out, is he going to pitch again or not? And we don't know the answer to that. So bullpens can be very wonky. And that's why I avoid them if given the chance. So my bet for today is a first 5. Again, we mentioned underdogs. We mentioned having a pitching edge. And we mentioned getting plus odds. I think I have the check in Pittsburgh with JT Brubaker. He's been very good. The public, which again, you mentioned, I love, George, I just love talking to you, man. Because you mentioned it happened. Things happen. Sharps pick up on it. And then there's a lag between that point of time and the rest of everybody kind of getting on board. And sometimes these guys do become very popular. I think JT Brubaker is like a star in the making. So I think we're going to F5 with the Pirates. And if you don't have F5 capability, that bullpen has been phenomenal also. So I think you can get the 9 innings for Pittsburgh as well. And, you're going up against Minnesota, who the public just loves to juice up. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game gets juiced up towards the Twins all day because I'm not going to say I don't believe in CLV. We could have that conversation another day. Hopefully we will. But I don't just blindly chase CLV. I'm the sharp. I hate to be arrogant, but we're the sharps. So what I say goes, go. That's what goes. So if my money's on the Pittsburgh, because that's what my analysis says, I don't care where the money's going. So I think Pittsburgh is a nail for us today.
I like where you're going with that, John. I mean, plus the fact Minnesota Twins leading right there with the Yankees in terms of down 6 units on the season. Breaking the Pittsburgh Pirates, big plus price on that too for the full game. We're seeing as high as plus 145 here, guys. Yes. Meaning you got to risk 100, win 145 if the Pirates, like John's saying, here as the underdog, being the side. So Pirates plus the 145. Actually, first 5, F5, meaning if you're new to betting baseball, first 5 looking towards the Pirates there. That's John. I am looking at the Miami Marlins and San Francisco Giants under the total of 7, also at reduced juice, guys. Make sure to check out Odds Checker for those odds. Please comment below. And John, before we shut this down, man, any last words?
I just the last thing, because again, as you and I talk, we'll never stop because these little nuggets keep popping up. Things, listen, that's what happens. That's why people are going to be here for, right? Your opinion is one. My opinion is 1. However, sometimes 1 + 1 = 3, and that's a reality. It really is. And the thing that I wanted to mention again, me being a notorious cheapskate, I'm such a cheapskate, dude. I have these T-Rex arms, and my pockets are extremely deep. They're stuffed with money.
That's a good thing as a baseball bettor. You don't want to be throwing out money.
Thank you for defending me. Go tell my wife that anyway. So the thing that I was talking about is Drew mentioned the heavy juice that we're getting to the plus side for the F5 bet. When you hear plus 145 F5. That probably means you can get even money for the run line, which you can today. So that, again, I'd probably put them both out there, but I love the idea of the Pittsburgh Pirates at even money playing to a tie through 5. It just doesn't, to me, it just doesn't feel greedy, right? We want to not be greedy, as they say on the trading floor. The pigs eat, but the hogs get slaughtered. Okay, so we want to keep that in mind, right? We want to eat, but we don't want to be greedy. So I'm going to have a slice of both. I think Pittsburgh wins, but I do like to keep, to do a little CYA, and I'm going to be looking to get paid on the tie through 5.
Okay, so plus 145 in the first 5 with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, let's pay them both out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can also, guys, get them plus a half of run here. So if they're tied at the end of 5, 0-0, 1-1, you can do the trick there. It's minus 110, so it's pretty much a pick 'em price there.
Yeah. Also, shopping around is something I know I've heard you talk about. I'm surprised you and I being two cheapskates. I don't want to put the label on you. I wear it proudly. But you do often talk about shopping around. And my mama told me you better shop around, right? Shop around because it matters, people. That 110, you may find plus 105 somewhere. And if we're talking percentages, that is an actionable percentage. So you can make your PL for the year just on the gap in shopping prices. That's the truth.
Love it, John. A lot of fun working with you. Hopefully the guys check us out next Friday as well. We're going to be putting out this video looking at the weekend series, Friday night action. He's John Laghezza at MLB Moving Average. I'm Drew Martin on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets. Give us a follow. Feel free to comment below, guys. Smash the like button if you're liking the content, and let us know as well. So best of luck with your bets. For John, I'm Drew. Happy Friday to you. Guys, let's cash these bets.